Relay.app is an automation tool, and you might be familiar with Zapier or Make, and we're in that same category of tools. So what we do is we help you automate processes or workflows across various different tools and apps that you might use. So let me give you an example. Let's say you use Calendly to book prospect demos for new customers. And you might want to add this new prospect whenever they schedule a meeting with you. You want to add them to your CRM and perhaps also follow up with an automated email after the meeting took place. Now, this is one of the things that you could do with an automation tool like Relay. And maybe more relevant, let's say a new subscription for your product or service is started through Paddle because you're using Paddle as your billing platform. You might want to send an internal message over Slack or over Teams to celebrate with your team or to do the right follow-up actions. That's at the super high level. Maybe one thing to add here is that there's of course a number of automation tools out there. And I think what makes Relay.app different from many of the alternatives out there, there's two key things. So firstly, we built Relay in the age of AI. And we all know how much value AI can offer in our day-to-day work, specifically in areas like, summarizing content, classifying information and all that stuff. And in Relay, we're making it super easy to charge your existing automations by leveraging both our in-product AI features for things like summarizing, extracting, or classifying content. But also we make it very easy to just interact with the larger AI platforms like ChatGPT as part of your more broader automated workflows. And of course, we know that AI is amazing, but we also know that you don't trust everything to AI, right? Like if you have AI draft an email to a new customer or a new prospect based on a template, you probably want a human to review that message before it goes out and perhaps even personalize it. And this leads me to the second big unique capability of Relay, which is that you can build automations using a human in the loop. And so basically what we let you do is you can build automations, and as part of your automations, you can add let's say a manual approval or a manual data input or a manual decision as part of otherwise fully automated workflows. So this unlocks a whole spectrum of new types of things that you could automate. For example, many of our customers, they are using Relay for things like customer onboarding. And so we help them connect all the different tools that they're using, like CRMs, scheduling tools, communication tools in that process, but also let them at various points during these workflows help with things like handovers between the AE and the CSM and various other human tasks. That really supercharge the workflow that's otherwise already mostly automated. So yeah, that's been proven to be quite powerful. We're a B2B SaaS business, and we are primarily relying on product-led growth as our go-to-market model through self-serve signups. So this means that we make it super easy for anyone across the world, essentially, to start using Relay and sign up for a subscription. And initially, we were using Stripe as our billing platform. However, as soon as we started getting customers outside of the US, we started receiving very unexpected emails. And I remember it very well. Our first customer outside the US was in Mexico, and then the UK, and many others followed. And this email basically told us that hey, in all these countries, we were exceeding the thresholds for not remitting VAT as a business. And to be honest, I had never thought about that before. We're a small team, and I just kind of assumed that this was all taken care of. So we immediately realized that this wasn't going to fly for us because, as a startup in a growth phase with a relatively small team, we are really focused on making the best possible product we can and growing the business. And dealing with registering with the local regulatory institutions, governments in every country in the world, that doesn't scale for us. Especially ironic, given that our subscriptions, they start at $9 per month. So pretty low. And we often only have a handful of customers per country. So all of that hassle just for a handful of customers, it's really not worth it. So yeah, we did a bunch of research and quite quickly figured out hey, we need a merchant of record. And Paddle, basically the one that really stood out for us. And so the decision was actually quite quickly made. Firstly, what we did is like we're integrating with tons of different products out there, and we made Paddle a first-class integration within Relay.app. So that means that we can trigger automated workflows based on various events that are happening within your Paddle plan. So for example, whenever a customer creates a new subscription or changes their subscription or cancels a subscription, or whenever a payment comes in or a payment is failed, a new customer is created, all of these kind of things we can listen for and then kick off a bunch of the automations or human in the loop actions that you might want to do. And in addition, we can also automate actions within Paddle. So for example, if you want to update customer information or whatnot, you can do that in an automated way as well. And so, how to use this, right? Like there's tons of different things, what you can use it for. We ourselves already get a ton of value of just sending like an internal Slack message whenever there's like a failed payment, for example, or like a new customer subscribing. And maybe one to call out here, what I think has been adding most value to us is like a special workflow that we have for whenever a customer churns. So whenever a customer cancels their subscription for Relay.app, we have a small workflow that kicks in that basically prepares a templated email that is ready to be sent to the customer and that asks them for their feedback. And basically to see if there's an opportunity, if we can keep them on Relay. And of course, this is one of those like human in the loop workflows where I will personally like review the message and personalize it because each customer is different and we can make it even more relevant for their specific case. And in the past week alone, we had a number of cases where we were able to help customers based on this email, and that they actually decided to like undo their cancellation, which has been great. So really an example of where some of these automations are adding like bottom line business value. Firstly, as a disclaimer, I was not the engineer that did the integration work. But what we did is like we used the Node SDK, and yeah, the experience has been great. Like, to be honest, within about a day, we had it up and running in our like sandbox environment. So it was really, really easy to set up the basics. And I think ultimately, like within 1.5 weeks, we were live in production. And most of that was just like us evaluating, on our side, the switch. But it was really a breeze. And second, one thing also that I thought was great is, like, as I mentioned, we were using Stripe. And of course, you want to keep things like relatively simple, and having customers in various different places is not great. So migrating like our Stripe customers to Paddle was also very easy with some support from your team. So yeah, it was really easy. I think just one more thing, like we're super excited about this partnership, and we believe that our automation tool can unlock so much value for Paddle customers in automating their like financial ops related workflows. And so we made this special offer. Basically, we give every Paddle customer like 3 months of Relay usage for free if you sign up via relay.app/paddle. Afterwards, our plans start at $9 per seat per month. So yeah, very, very curious to hear all your feedback and if you have any feature requests as well.